All right, guys, welcome. Rabid here. How are you guys all doing? And we're in for some pretty exciting time. So I'm looking for some GPUs. It's like an Easter egg hunt. Right there, we got an RTX 3080. Nice. So we got that one. What else do we got here? We got some over here. Now this one's not going to work too well. This is a CMP 100 210, I believe. They don't get very much hash. What we're looking for is GPUs that will work for Pearl, because it looks like it's doing pretty decent in probability. So we need to build a rig. So here I do have, that's a 3070, that'll work. I got some 3060 Ti's, 36 Ti, yeah, okay, Ti's there. A2000, yeah, that's gonna work too good too. What's this? Oh, yeah, that looks like a 3060 Ti. So I gotta go through and find a bunch of GPUs so I can load up an Octominer. Now I don't know which one. I guess it'll depend on how many GPUs I find. So we got some focus action here. So we got the X8 right here, so that'll hold 8 GPUs. And then we also got the X12 here on the floor, and that will hold 12 GPUs. Now I got to go into power supplies. I am missing one of the 1200 watts here. Remember, with these things on 240 volt, they're 1200 watts. If you're running it on a 120 volt, they're only like 900 watts. We will be running this on 240, so they will be the full 1200 watts each. So you got to keep your power in mind, because we are running these GPUs at pretty high TDP here, because there aren't really any good overclock settings out there. You're mostly locking your core pretty close to the stock here, dropping your voltages, which is your core offset, down to save as much power as possible. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And right now we're seeing some pretty decent probability happening, and everyone is excited for GPU mining again. Now we do have this 3090 hanging out on the test bench. I'm probably just going to leave it there. But then again, we'll see how many GPUs I have, because I don't want to pay a full GPU price in Hive OS for one GPU, because we're going to be going into that limit where we're going to have to pay for Hive OS fees. So I might have to throw that in the Octominer as well. What do we got over there? Oh no, never mind. That is a Bitcoin miner, so that's not it. What do we got on the floor over here? That is a 5700 XT, an RX 580. Oh, what are you? What are you? Oh, that looks like something I can use. What are you? Let me see this. This is EVGA. This might be a 3060. So that might be a 3060. That's going to work as well. I think it's making $1 to $2 a day or something. So we can throw that thing in. So there's another GPU I found. I don't seem to see anything on this table of garbage. Sorry, you're not garbage there. You're actually a 7950X, and you're pretty awesome here. You got 2 sticks of RAM, which is a gold mine right now, so you're not garbage. Everything else on here is just a pile of who knows laying around everywhere. But no GPUs on here, so I got to continue on with trying to find some more. Oh, I found an A2000, actually 2 A2000s inside of this X8. So there's 2 there. So altogether, I think I found around 10 GPUs. There's 2 in the garage being used. So depending on power, I'm going to have to calculate all that. But I'll probably fire 10 to 12 GPUs will go in here, counting those 2 out there, because I got 10 out here, I guess, so my math is messed up. But I did find 12 to load up this. But I'm just going to have to figure out how much power to utilize. Now, 2 of them are being tested. I am testing pools, Alphamine versus Pearhash, to see which pool and miner does pay us the most. So that will ultimately be the decision where these all end up on. We want to go to whatever pays us the most amount of money. But first, I got to get those tests done. So for now, I'll probably just be loading this up with around 10 GPUs, counting the 3090. So we'll see what happens. Now, there is a 3060 inside of the little one's PC, which she hasn't used forever. It's a 3700X I built for her a while back. She was mining Ethereum and Raptorium on this onto her own wallet. She still has those coins, so we'll see what happens there. But I do have a 3060 that I could take right there as well. Oh, damn, jackpot. Well, not really a jackpot. So I messed up. This is actually the X12 over here, and this is the X8 over here. And inside the X8, I did find an A2000 right here. Oh, my light's not on. So we got an A2000 right here. That's the motherboard and stuff there. But we also have a 3060 and 2 more A2000s in there. So I do got a bunch of GPUs to load some stuff up. So now I just got to figure out what I'm going to load up with what and where. And get to it. And because I messed up earlier, you may be saying something in the comments, I'm not sure, but this has three 1200 watt server power supplies. So I thought these were the the 720s or whatever the heck they were. Those are actually over there. So there's actually three of those, and one of those is off. So those are not 1200 watt. They have three 1200 watts right here. So we are good to go, full power in this machine here. And this machine, this Octominer, has not been on for over 500 and some days. So I'm definitely going to show you guys that before I turn this on, because that's a long time. Now, one thing I'm kind of might be worried about is these cables are probably dried right out and could be a pretty big fire hazard possibly. So maybe we're going to melt some rigs here. All right, so I found about 17 GPUs. This pile here, the two that are in here, and then the four that are in here. And then I do got the two in the garage that is being used currently for pool testing, 3060 Ti and a 3060 Ti. And all of this right here, we got two 7950Xs, two 3060 Ti's, is all running off this one single power supply. Now, we're within limits and everything here because I'm not mining on the CPUs. It'd probably be getting very close if I had everything turned on. But for this, everything is working just fine.
Rabid rigs in the basement glow. Fans scream loud in the blizzard flow. Hash in the hush of a frozen town. Snow on the roof, but the cores burn down. Maple on pancakes, wallet on fire. Frost on the glass, clocks running higher. Canada night, sky sharp as steel. Numbers go brrr. This is how it feels. We're mining it.
Okay guys, so we got all of this stuff set up. Now when I was putting everything together and recording it, I'm not sure how that turned out yet. I guess I'll find out in post, because it was accidentally set on auto and not manual, which I usually run it in. I went to take pictures and totally forgot about that, and things might have been messed up. So hopefully it came out all right. But we got all the GPUs in, we got the wires wired up here. Now we got to just, get the cover laid out, plug it in, turn it on, and, see what kind of hash rates we're getting and how much power this is using, tweak them up a little bit, and start earning ourselves some Pearl. All right, so before I do turn this thing on, I do want to point out that Octominer 1 has been offline for 566 days and 2 hours. That's November 4th of 2024, 6:02 p.m. is when I shut her down. See you later, Ethereum, or testing, or whatever the heck it was. But it's been offline for a long time. All right, guys. So Octominer 1 is alive. That is crazy. So I've been playing around, trying to get, my Octominer fans. Everything was off. Haven't used it forever. I'll get all that figured out. I got to figure out all my overclock settings. I'm not sure what to do on that yet. The 3090, this is what I was running, was 1500, 300, 8200s. I'll have to figure out what their core clocks are so I know what to lock them at. A 3080, same thing. I'm just going to run some 3060 Ti numbers and 3060. I'm just going to go with this for now. So I got to set up my flight sheet here, which I should have set up already. So GUI 2, Pearl 2, Pearhash. Yeah, so I'm just going to rock everything on here for now. Let's just jump into Hive Shell just to see what things are looking like when it fires up. Hopefully everything works good, but I guess we'll see if anything starts to melt or not. We're currently at 393. So remember, there's three 1200 watt power supplies in here. We're running off 240 volt. So we should have around 3600 watts. If you divide that by 12, that's around 300 watts per slot. So you can see we have some A2000s, 3060 Ti's. So we should be good on power, even running everything on like stock TDPs. So that's one bonus here. But again, a lot of those cables are dried up and I don't know how well they're going to do. So I got to keep an eye on that. They haven't been used for quite some time. But yeah, let's just see. Where's my Hive Shell start? There it is. There it is. Let's just open that up and see what things may be looking like here. Hopefully we're running. We might not be, but time to moment of truth. Boom. And yes, so it's looking like we're getting jobs. We got some hash rate. Total hash rate is, it's picking up here. We're at 439 now. So that's nice. Gaining hash rate, gaining hash rate. All right. We got some things happening. Oh, do we have a couple GPUs not working? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're all got numbers, so that's good. All right, so we are rocking right now 437 terahash, so like 250/90s. That's crazy. All of these things, including a 3090 and stuff, is equivalent to like 250/90s. But you know, these are probably be a lot cheaper because 250/90s in Canada right now is probably close to like $10,000. So I'm okay with this right now. I'm okay. Maybe, you know, if there becomes a big GPU shortage from this, maybe I'll sell these. Anybody want to buy some GPUs? You know, we got 3090. No, I'm not going to sell this. This is EVGA. Same with my other EVGA. A 3060. I have an EV. Oh, I have a couple of EVGAs here. So I'm not going to sell those because they're going to be like landmarks here soon, you know, worth a lot of money because EVGA doesn't make GPUs anymore. But why is it not reading these? I wonder. I'm not sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, we're seeing some high temps already. We're seeing some high temps. Fans are up. That's good. But why isn't temps? I got to set a temp limit here. Let's just set this to, you know, set that to 80. Apply. But yeah, how come those fans aren't kicking in? I got some issue going. Oh wait, minimum fan speed. Maybe if I put this to 75%. Same with this, minimum 75. See if that does anything. Maybe that will boost some stuff. 4 fans. Oh, this might be an auto fan for all of them. I haven't used this for so long, but they all used to spin in Hive OS. So I'm gonna have to go check things out over there. But we are definitely getting some high temps right now, and with our fans ramping up like crazy. All right, much better temperatures now. We do have 75 on the core for this 3060 Ti, so it's in a bit of a hot spot there, but we can see our fans and everything are now working. I had to go down there and I had to reboot that Octominer, and then everything did kick in just fine. Wow, this is crazy. So I came into Pearhash in here and look at the one GPU. The RTX 4090 right here is 213 terahash on my workstation. And here you can see worker 3. This is that Octominer, 433. So like we almost have around half the hash rate with one GPU as 12 GPUs in here. These new GPUs, the 4090s, 5090s, are just absolute beasts compared to that 3000 series. Like there's even a 3090 in here for frig's sakes. It's pretty crazy, pretty crazy. You know, I definitely need to get my hands on either more 4090s or some 5090s. So, you know, I think I might want to sell all my 3060 Ti's and stuff and possibly get one of those, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I built a GPU mining rig in 2026. That's pretty crazy here. You know, it's nice to see that. And again, I just want to do a shout out here so you can see this up-to-date current profitability on GPUs, on ASICs, you know, everything here. You know, you can see all hardware wallets. Everything is my referral link, so I'll earn a little bit for helping the channel. You know, we got mining pools here, exchanges, everything you need to stay on top of cryptocurrencies here. And they're all legit links. You know, I made sure everything is good. These are all my own referrals and companies I do talk to. So stay tuned for that. And, you know, you click on stuff. It'll also give you where to buy things, legit links as well as prices. So you don't get scammed and ripped off because that happens to so many people. But coming into here for GPUs, 12-cent power, little slider bar here, we can see just how much things are making. Like look at the H100. That is crazy per day here. You know, we got the 5090s rocking at 20 right now. You know, if you're on Vast or something, it'd be about $10.80. Now, some people are saying they're getting around 80 cents to a dollar on their, you know, so that means around, you know, almost $24 a day. So that's pretty insane for Vast AI for the rentals. But when I went there to rent hardware, none of those prices are there. So like this is based on how much you can rent hardware for. So I don't know how you're going to get paid more than what you're going to get rented for, if that makes sense. I don't understand it. So this is based on how much people are renting things for, not necessarily what you're getting, because these companies do take a cut. So it might be slightly less, but then again, some people are reporting slightly higher values than this. But just looking at things, like things are looking pretty nice. And here we can see there is a switch here where it looks like AI does turn better, like the 4080 Super. It looks like just slightly here, but Vast is sitting at 864 versus 854, just Pearl directly. So there is some GPUs where it looks like going onto a rental platform is the better option, but it's nice to see that crypto can be profitable right now. This is pretty nice to see. It's pretty awesome. And again, this is at rabidmining.com. Simply click on the crypto and AI profit calculator, share this video around, share this calculator around, so that you can see where everything is profitable and stuff. I'm still working on the CPU side of things, as we can see here. And also when it comes to Pearl and GPUs, let me know down in the comment section which hardware you actually have and what you're getting for hash rates and power. Because remember, I'm still trying to update this. You know, I got numbers for 5090s, the H100 here, you know, the Pro 5000, 5080s, 4090s, 5070 Ti. These ones are correct, but things like the 3060 Ti is correct and stuff as well, but I'm still looking for a lot of other ones. So anyway, if you got some numbers for any GPU, I'll just cross-reference it with what I got. Post down your hash rates for Pearl as well as the power consumption, either it's software at the wall, let me know. But most of us are just going with software numbers right now, so I'll just use that, and then once I get to testing with hardware I have, I will get wall numbers and then update it all. But right now I do need hash rate numbers for all sorts of GPUs, so let me know about that. Now, I also want to point, there is one major thing going on about, you know, which GPUs can mine this. And right now it's looking like mostly NVIDIA ones from like 1660s, even 1080s and higher can work because it's all due to tensor cores. Now, there are CMP cards that are working. The 170s are not working yet, but the CMP 90s and stuff, but they're getting like single digit terahashes. Not very good at all. Sounds like 6700 XTs are single digits, like a CMP 90 or something. And then who knows about 5700 XT, but it sounds like they're working on AMD hardware. But keep in mind, just due to the way AMD is, they're all probably just going to suck. So I just highly say stay away from AMD probably forever if you want to do anything with crypto ever again, because all the devs are gone anyway, so it might not make any sense to purchase those types of hardware anymore. So mostly all NVIDIA GPUs is what you're going to want to mine this coin. All right, guys, so that pretty much does wrap up this video. Now, you can't see much here because I got the back facing towards everything else, so it's blowing all that way and not towards the wall and whatever. So pretty nice to be GPU mining again. Like, I know I've probably been saying that a lot. I've been saying that over my live streams for a while, but it's been so long. And you know what? Who knows how long it's going to last? It could be a couple days. It could be a week. Could be a month. Maybe a couple months. Could be a couple years. I have no idea. But hopefully, you know, it does remain decent for a considerable amount of time, because it's really nice to have GPUs on again. But thank you for checking out this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. Are you turning on your GPUs again? Are you building your rigs again? Did you get rid of all your GPUs? Because I'm also curious. This is a great test to see how many GPUs actually turn online, because like I said, you know, the profitability is technically better than when Ethereum was around temporarily right now. Again, don't know how long it'll last, but it's going to be a nice thing to see how much hardware turns on. Definitely going to be tracking the network, and it'll give us an idea for the future of how much hardware is still out there. So share this video around, hit that subscribe button, hit that hype button. Remember to send in your GPU hash rates in the comment section. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.